Hey, what's up? This is Harry Wagner from Harry's Situations, here for The Dirt by 4 Wheel Parts. Now, 4 Wheel Parts was nice enough to arrange for me to get my hands on this ARB-equipped Ford Bronco behind me here. And 4 Wheel Parts is actually the biggest seller of ARB products in the US, so not surprising that they were able to pull a few strings and let me get my hands on this. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about how the Bronco works and also how the ARB accessories that have been added to it enhance that experience. This Ford Bronco behind me is an Outer Banks version that ARB has outfitted with a host of products. So, most notably is their Summit front bumper on here. If you want something a little more low profile, they also have a Zenith front bumper. I personally like this look, the bull bar look, and it has their Solus 7-inch lights on the front, which have a traditional look. It's a round light, but they're actually LEDs, which put out a ton of light. And then there's a Warren winch in the front here too. Now underneath, it's a little tough to see, but ARB's skid plates are underneath here. They're really nice fitting, no sort of issues with noise or vibrations or anything like that, and a lot of confidence when you're on the trail, having everything protected. This has a Zenith rear bumper on it and Zenith rock sliders on the side that are actually frame mounted, super sturdy. One of my favorite parts about these ARB components is that they don't affect any of the factory parameters. So this is a vehicle that has adaptive cruise control, lane departure, backup sensors, and even with aftermarket bumpers, all of those functions still work, which isn't always the case with aftermarket components, but ARB really sets the standard. Inside the vehicle, there's a drawer system in the back that has an ARB Zero fridge mounted on it. There's actually an auxiliary battery with a Redarc battery controller, so you never have to worry about that fridge running down your battery and leaving you stranded somewhere, even if you're out camping and staying in the same place for multiple days. My favorite product from ARB that's on this Bronco is their twin air compressor. I've run a bunch of different onboard air systems over the years, like belt-driven AC compressors and portable electric compressors, compressors with tanks, and really with the twin air compressor, they're super fast, they're quiet, they're small and compact, which is a good thing because vehicles like the Bronco don't have a ton of excess space under the hood, but it still fits nicely in the engine bay and airs up your tires super quick. Now that and the Solus lights are controlled by ARB's Link system. You can run this through an app on your phone and control things like what pressure the air compressor turns off at. You can turn on your lights. If you have air lockers, you can control them. The Zero fridge, you can set the temperature all through this app. Super handy, and if you're like me and don't like drilling holes in your brand new dash to mount switches, it's great. One of the great things about this Link system is that you can select what you want your target pressure to be. For, in this instance, it's 35 pounds that we want in these Bronco tires. You can set that. All I have to do is put this on and it'll turn off when it gets to that pressure. So if you have other things you need to do, want to grab a snack, you can do it while your tires are airing up. So our current pressure is now at 34 psi, our target pressure is 35 psi. Once we reach that target pressure, the compressor will automatically turn off and our tire's full. Wait for it. This Bronco behind me is an Outer Banks edition, so what that means is a little more upscale. It's got the big screen in the center console, but it's not a Sasquatch model. The Sasquatch model comes with 35-inch tall tires and locking differentials from the factory. This did not, but ARB can fix both of those things. This has their Old Man Emu suspension on it, which is available in different spring rates depending on if you have a light vehicle closer to stock or if you have heavy loads with things like the winch and the bumper and the drawers and the fridge in the back. So I picked this vehicle up down in Southern California, did a trip through Death Valley on tons of washboard road and technical winding terrain. It worked great. I was really pleased with how the suspension worked. If you want to push your rig even further, ARB will be coming out with their BP51 shocks for the Bronco in the near future. These use internal bypass technology, so in addition to being velocity sensitive, they're also position sensitive and work great in small terrain. They just suck it up and they're nice and soft, but in bigger sort of hits, they stiffen up, and so you don't have to worry as much about bottoming out. I can't wait till those come out. In order to test these ARB products on this Bronco, we wanted to compare it to a stock Bronco. And as luck would have it, my friend Mitch here from Silver State Off-Road just happens to have a stock Bronco, but it's equipped a little differently than this one. So tell us, Mitch, what model is your Bronco?
So this Bronco is a 4-door Big Bend, the Sasquatch package. So fairly low end model as far as the technology and creature comforts. It has cloth interior, but it does have heated seats, plastic bumpers, things like that. But the Sasquatch package allows it to come factory with, they call it high clearance suspension, which is Ford/Bilstein tuned shocks from the factory that are pretty good, and then 35-inch tires, beadlock capable wheels that are made by Method. They're not true beadlocks from the factory, but you can buy the rings and make them beadlocks. And then it has a lower range transfer case, axle gearing, and electronic lockers front and rear. So pretty good machine right out of the box. Yeah, I would agree. I think that it's a great machine, the Ford Bronco platform. I know you're a Ford guy. What is your favorite feature about the new Bronco? I love the nostalgia of it, that they took some of the styling from the early Broncos and didn't make it just a total, like Chevy did with the Blazer, just not even resembling of a Blazer. So, and then the fact that you can get a Sasquatch package with lockers and low gearing and transfer case, the features that allow you to do hill descent, one pedal mode, trail assist turn, so many cool options right from the factory. For those people that might be new to off-roading and just trying to get into it, it's just right from the factory, ready to go do moderate trails. So at first blush, it might seem like Ford's stepping on ARB's toes. Their most famous product is the Air Locker, and these already come from the factory with selectable lockers. But that's why ARB has come out with a whole host of products for the Bronco, from bumpers and skid plates to interior products and air compressor mounts. They haven't completely given up on this platform. On the contrary, they've gone all in on the Bronco. Mitch, tell us, what is your least favorite thing about your new Bronco? They're awesome for off-roading, for the people that are new to it. But during the marketing, we tested them at Hammers trails and drug them through the Rubicon and had no breaks, no failures, no issues. So you do see a lot of people hopping straight into them and pushing them beyond their capabilities in stock form and breaking parts, and then bad mouthing Ford, saying, "You told me I could do this." And if you're new to it, there's going to be a learning curve, learning your vehicle's limits and what you can and can't do. And that's what some of these aftermarket companies are, starting to provide support for the platform already. They're great in factory form, but everything needs modified. So
my favorite thing is the drivetrain. I think both of these vehicles have the 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost engine backed by a 10-speed. These things have plenty of power, tons of fun to rally around on dirt roads or just daily drive down the freeway. I think they work great. My least favorite thing, I would say, is I was kind of surprised by the wind noise in this. I think not having a door frame made it louder. This one's actually a hardtop. Still, I don't want to complain too much. I mean, it's comparable to like what a Jeep would have. So I don't want to sound too much like I'm complaining about, but I was surprised by the wind noise. Another thing that's comparable to a Jeep, they've got those center mounted window rollers. I just can't get used to that. It is not if you were going to borrow one thing from the Jeep, that would not be the thing that I would borrow. Mitch, I know you haven't had this Bronco for too long, but knowing your track record and the vehicles you've had, from diesel trucks to solid axle sport tracks on coilovers and 1-tons, I'm sure this won't be stock for long. If you were going to add one ARB accessory to your Bronco, what would be the first thing you would add?
I'm a real fan of the bumpers. I really like the low profile ones, like on the rear of this. I've been looking into those. They fit really well with the factory platform. It depends with the Sasquatch package or not. The fenders actually stick out a lot more on the Sasquatch package than the non-Sasquatch. So the ARB kept that in mind and made them follow the body lines really good. So skid plates are another thing. Definitely, even though it's a Sasquatch package, the first time I had it on the rack, I was pretty surprised with the lack of underbody protection. So seeing the ones on this one definitely made me think about that.
What do you think are the advantages of this platform versus some others that you've used in the past?
The first thing that comes to mind, like you said, the EcoBoost power plant, the 10-speed transmission, or the 7-speed manual they offer is a really cool option also. But I really love the fact that you can come out and do stuff like this, get it dirty, mild rock crawling, you know, mud ruts. I've taken it out in the snow right from the factory. Does amazing. I was absolutely amazed at the traction control capabilities in it. But that you can get back on the road in an IFS rig and drive home with your wheel still being centered, and you know, cruise comfortably on the freeway even after taking it out and somewhat beating on it for the day. You know, coming from 1-ton rock crawlers and stuff, that's not always the case. This might not be the most streetable, comfortable rig to drive down the road, but these are a little bit best of both worlds.
And one thing I love is the big wheel wells, the big fender openings. Make it super easy to fit a 35-inch tall tire. We made these comparisons with Toyotas, and you have to do a lot of work on even a newer Tacoma, FJ Cruiser, 4Runner to fit 35s. I mean, you're modifying cab mounts and
body mount
massaging. Yeah, you bolt on this Old Man Emu suspension and you put on 35s and it doesn't rub at all. I've been writing stories for The Dirt for the past few years, and now we're starting to do some videos. Do you like them? If you do, make sure and subscribe and hit the like button. And comment below and let us know what you want to see next.